I'm going to give you guys some tools of awesomeness. This is a really inspirational thought leader. And this is the mindset you've got to be in if you want to be champion. Any more questions? That's it. No, just kidding. So one of the most important things is we talked about ask your customers, really listen. I'm going to teach you guys something that I learned pretty early on, and this is very valuable and also very good for relationships too. I should be a relationship, whatever they call it, a host, whatever. So I used to think that speaking was where power came from in a relationship. You know, somebody enters the room, I am in charge. What I learned was that where real power comes from is listening. But not listening like you listen right now. I would argue you probably don't know how to listen. Interesting. You listen, we have different levels of listening, okay? Listening to hear versus listening to get your damn opinion in. Most people listen like this. Or just say something to me. Yeah, it's, and then, right. That's how we listen, but we don't. So that's how we listen. Because I'm already knowing what I'm going to say. I'm going to wait till I can say. I'm waiting to talk, right? That's how we work. So watch yourself. It's pretty fun. But that's not listening. That's waiting to say something. So you're not going to learn a hell of a lot. So there's this thing called emptying the cup, and I learned it because I did this job. I messed up the job. The guy screamed at me. He told me I'd never work in this town again. I didn't know what I did, but I know I royally screwed up. I went into his office. It was the head of the FX networks in LA. I went into his office. He closed the glass door, big, glass office, and he just railed at me for a half an hour. Like every word, you screwed up our airtime, or this or that. You will never work in this town again. Do you understand? Do you even understand what time code is? Do you understand what bars and tone are? Do you have any clue? Are you that dumb? I mean, just gone. And so after he finished, needed some air, right? Took a break. Instead of trying to explain myself, I said, this is a good question. Remember this. Is there anything else? Yeah, you know what, motherfucker, there is? There's something else. And then he went on again. And after that, I said, is there anything else? He said, yeah, as a matter of fact, there is. And he went on. I said, okay, I hear you. Is there anything else? He said, no, I actually appreciate you coming in here. It shows real courage. It's really cool. So he went from so angry he didn't want to hear me to, I don't know what you would call it, conversation. I thanked him, and I walked out. 3 years later, that guy asked me for a job. My company had become so big and so successful that he came in and asked me for a job. That came from emptying the cup, which is this. I use this in the other talk, but remember I was talking about listening right here? So the story is this Japanese master receives this professor, and he starts pouring some tea, and he starts to spill over the cup, overflowing it. And the professor says, hey, wait a minute, there's no more tea will go in. And the Zen master said, well, like this cup, you're so full of your own opinions and speculations. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup? So to be really effective in conflict, in business, in relationship, do yourself a favor, empty the other person's cup. You want to know how to manage people really well? Empty the cup. Let them, is there anything else? I'm really pissed off. Is there anything else? Is there anything else? Is there anything? Okay, I hear you. That's it. Analysis paralysis, this is something I've struggled with. Be on the playing field. Like when you're in your head about an idea, it's the greatest idea, and you're doing business plans, and you're doing business cards, and you're on the internet. You're wasting time. Just realize that, I shouldn't say it, you're not wasting time, you're not on the playing field. You're preparing for the game. Know that you're preparing for the game. You're not on the playing field. Where the real results happen are on the playing field. Too many people spend their time in the bleachers commenting about business. where you're going to really learn something is on the playing field. On the playing field is talking to customers. Get on the playing field. Anybody ever gone streaking? If you haven't, I highly encourage it, because it's a lot like being in business. It's what it feels like. It really feels like, sometimes when you go into meetings, it's like taking off your clothes and going, I'm here. I mean, it feels like that, but it's such a thrill when you do it and you start running down the street. You feel this incredible joy and high, right? So if you're in your head, for those of you who have streaked, or for those of you who have not streaked, if I said, we're going streaking after this class, you would say, you're insane, and your brain would start going, but is he serious? Is he fucking serious? He can't be serious. Is he serious? I can't do it. I mean, I'm not going to go. I never know right? Your brain goes cuckoo, right? We will find out after the class if I'm serious. But same thing in business. You got an idea, you want to go talk to somebody, your brain goes cuckoo, like you're going to go streaking. Like, you shouldn't go in there, you shouldn't talk to them, and your brain will talk you out of stuff. Jump, go, shut your mind up, take action, 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 out of your head, streak. That's what it feels like. You know you're doing the right thing when you're pushing yourself. You're in the right territory. If you're safe, you're not an entrepreneur. For sure. Breakdowns. Remember I talked about how well you handle breakdowns? Business looks like this. I get an idea, and it's red because I'm super excited. And then I go on the website, and I find out there's 5,000 chair manufacturers that distribute to airports. That's a breakdown. Or I find out that, whatever, the URL isn't available. Or somebody else is already doing it. Whatever, come up with your drama that you're going to come up with. And you're like, oh, it's such a huge breakdown. But you stick through it. And then there's an opening. Oh, I have a friend who does that. They actually own the airport in San Francisco. Why don't you just pick up the phone and call them? Oh, no, I'm high. I'm excited. You guys actually are interested? I can come up there and talk to you? Now I'm excited. I go talk to him. He's like, oh, yeah, the 20-foot regulation thing. We can't have anything against that wall fire regulations. Right? Ah, shit. Right? So that's what it's like. But in a macro standpoint, this is what business looks like. Your ability to manage breakdowns and bounce off of them is it. Remember I said how well you are under pressure? Remember when I said how you behave? That's the same thing. In a single day, you will have breakdowns, you have breakthroughs. In a single week, you will have more of macro breakdowns, breakthroughs. This week alone, today's what, Thursday? This week alone, and I was sharing with John on the way in here, I have been learning so much. I have had so many breakthroughs and breakdowns in single days. I know I'm on the right track. I'm talking crazy breakthroughs. Like, holy shit, I've been waiting for this to happen for a long time, and it's happening. In the same 24 hours, I was telling John, I had an investor who said, I FedExed you the check, $150,000, and it didn't show up. And I thought, well, the check didn't show up, but it's FedEx, so I'll track it. Never got sent. Well, that's interesting. Oh, you're in New York. Why are you in New York? Oh, you run a public company. Oh, the public company's in deep shit. Oh, you can't invest right now. Small problem. Oh, that's funny. My staff needs to get paid. So, 24 hours. That's what it looks like. Your ability to handle breakdowns, how fast you can fall off the horse and get back on is how fast you can move. Right? Be unreasonable. You guys need to practice being unreasonable. And what I mean by being unreasonable is that the reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself, and therefore all progress depends on the unreasonable man. Very true. People will call you some version of either crazy, get a job, whatever they're going to say about it. being unreasonable, going the extra mile, asking for more, having more conversations this is a critical ingredient to being a good entrepreneur, is being unreasonable. Being unreasonable, you got to go for it. Being safe is not going to work out real well for you, right? The more unsafe, well, let me rephrase this. The more unreasonable you can be, the more you can stretch, the more outrageous you can be, excellent. Do it. So, and you can't figure this whole thing out in advance. I hear so many people go, oh, well, I'm going to make this plan and it's going to go as planned. It will not go as planned. So when you write your plan, realize it's like writing a fairy tale. It's not going to happen. It's going to happen some other way. It might happen way better than your story. Probably will. So shut up and start. Have the courage to fail. Stop your brain. Stop reasons why not. Go. Sometimes you just got to get back in the fucking game.